Rightio. Welcome, Carolyn, as well. Thank you all for being here today, sharing your beautiful yoga practice and your energy, supporting each other in our little yoga community. We're going to do a grounding relaxation meditation to begin, and then our asana today is going to be a nice warming energetic one. So think about your body, and if you find that you need to have a rest anytime through the practice, feel free to rest into a child pose or into a savasana on your back. We're going to start with the calming grounding meditation, and then we'll finish off with a pranayama breathing exercise. So if you'd like to lay down in savasana to start with, so laying down with your your hands facing down towards the mat, and you can have your legs bent if you like to support your lower back, or have them out straight, whatever works best for you. Taking a few nice deep breaths. Relaxing into your body. Let your breathing relax, let it come and go. Soften through your scalp and your face, your forehead and your eyes, and let your eyes sink deep into their sockets. Soften your cheeks. Let your lips release and let your tongue rest in your mouth. Swallow and then release your throat and your neck. Let the relaxation flow down into your shoulders, taking a breath in and sigh the breath out through your mouth. Letting go of all that doesn't serve you. The relaxation then flows down from your shoulders to your arms and into your hands and fingers. Feel your whole body releasing into the floor. Be aware of your back, your legs, and your thighs. Feel the relaxation being drawn down through your body, and feel your body relaxing into the floor, being supported by the earth. Now with each breath, as you release your exhalation, softening into your abdomen and chest. Be aware of your legs, feeling the relaxation flowing down through your knees, your lower legs and your feet. With each breath, breathe in softly and breathe out. Patiently let the breaths nourish you, and allow yourself to just be, feeling a sense of calm. Just taking a few breaths here, relaxing into your space, and feel supported by the earth. Feeling yourself nice and grounded. Scanning through your body, gently exhaling into any areas of tightness. Noticing your mind and your thoughts, acknowledging them and letting them go. Leaving behind the busyness from your morning. Taking another 4 or 5 deep breaths here. And gently bending your knees and hugging your knees up into your chest. And doing some nice rotations through your lumbar spine, just releasing your lower back into the earth. turning in a few circles in one direction and then a few circles in the other direction. And then when you're ready, rolling onto your side and then coming up onto all fours. And we'll warm up your spine with a few cat-cows. So having your hands with your fingers nice and widely spread underneath your armpits and your knees underneath your hips. Taking an inhalation, lifting up through your chest and lifting your gaze. And then exhaling, lifting up your back, arching the back up towards the ceiling and gazing between your legs towards your feet. So you've got a nice arch. And inhaling, coming back up. Just continue on here for another 5 or 6 breaths. Gently moving through your spine, warming up through each vertebrae. There's a little bit of movement in a lot of places. It's been a very cold morning today, so we'll try and warm you up. And then taking your knees back a little, and we're going to do a few up dogs and downward dogs. So taking your hips forward and breathing in, lifting your chest and lifting your gaze. And then tucking your toes under and lifting your hips towards the ceiling into a down dog. Walking your heels down towards the mat, warming up through the back of your legs. Take 4 more breaths here. And then coming down onto your knees and lifting up through your chest into another upward dog. And then exhaling, lifting your hips up into a downward dog. So we'll continue on. We'll do another 4 or 5 up dogs and down dogs, just getting some movement into your spine. I'll let you go through at your own pace. Just noticing your breath and wrapping your breath around the movement. So each time you exhale, lifting up into up downward dog. And as you inhale, bring your knees down to the mat, lift your chest and lift your gaze. Let's go 3 more. And 1 more of each. And then moving your knees nice and wide and your feet together. And as you exhale, bring your buttocks down to your heels and bring your forehead down to the mat into child's pose. And taking 5 deep breaths here. And each time you breathe out, relaxing into the pose a little more. And notice the feeling through your lower back and through your forehead, your shins on the mat, and also your hands outstretched. Each time, just bringing your forehead down a little closer to the mat and noticing the stretch through the upper back and shoulders. And 2 more breaths here. And then coming back into all fours. And we're going to lift alternate arm and leg. So as you inhale, lifting your left leg and your right arm and extending through the hand and the foot. And then exhale, bring them back down to the mat and inhale to the other side. So gently moving with your breath. Welcome, Elsa. It's going from side to side. Focusing on keeping a nice steady movement through your back. Imagine you have a bowl of water on your back that you don't want to spill. Each inhalation extending out through the hand and the foot. Have your toes pointing down towards the mat. Strengthening through your hips and your shoulders. We'll go one more on each side. And then coming down to all fours. And we're going to reach back with our right hand and grab hold of our left foot. So we're going to have a nice stretch through the front of the body, lifting your heart and stretching through that thigh on the left side. And staying here for 3 breaths. Keeping your body nice and steady. And then that's it. You nearly got it, Penny. And then releasing the knee down to the mat. And then reaching back to the other side. So left hand reaching back to the right foot. And lifting through the chest. Stretching through the hand and the foot. Staying here for 3 breaths. And then releasing that down to the mat. And coming back into child's pose, just resting here for a couple of breaths. So bring your buttocks down to your heels. And reaching forward with your hands and bringing your forehead down towards the mat. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then we're going to come up, back up to all fours and tuck your toes under and come up into a downward dog. Paddling your heels down towards the mat, stretching through the backs of your legs. And then we're going to lift up into a 3-legged dog. So we'll take the left foot up towards the ceiling, outstretched, having the toes pointing down towards the mat. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. And then bending that left knee and bringing the foot over towards the right side, lifting the knee towards the ceiling for another 2 breaths into scorpion. And then releasing that left foot down to the mat and just paddle your heels down towards the mat again. Then we're going to lift up the right leg into 3-legged dog on the right side for 3 breaths. And then bending the right knee, taking the knee towards the ceiling and bringing the foot over to the left side for 2 breaths. If this doesn't feel right, you can stay in a 3-legged dog or just a normal downward dog. And then bring your knees down to the mat and coming down. Nice. So from here, we'll just do a little bit of stretching from side to side. So standing on your knees, and we're going to bring our hands up towards the ceiling. And we're going to go from one side to the other. So exhaling as you go to one side, inhaling, bringing both hands back up, and exhale to the other side. Just moving with your breath. And then bring your hands down to the mat in front of you, tucking your toes under, pressing up into a downward dog, and then walking your hands back and your feet forward. So you end up in a forward fold. Stay here for 5 breaths, noticing the stretch through our lower back and through the back of our legs. Two more breaths. And then inhale, bringing your hands all the way up to the sky to mountain pose. Bring your hands back to Anjali Mudra, softening your eyes and focusing on your breath. We've done quite a lot of movement. You may find that your breath is a little rushed, so just staying here for about 5 breaths just to feel that even out. And then we're going to go into a sun salute series. So we all are very familiar with this one. So we'll start at the top of our mat. And we're going to inhale and lift our hands up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting our chest, lengthening through our spine. And exhale, stepping back, either into a high plank, or you can have your knees on the mat into a low plank, and then slowly lowering your body to the ground. Inhale, lifting through the chest into an upward dog. Tuck your toes under and press up into a downward dog. Stay here for a breath, and then raise your gaze towards your hands, stepping forward into a forward bend. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bring your chest to your legs, squeeze it in, and then inhale, coming all the way back up to mountain pose. We'll do 3 more of those at your pace. Feel free to rest at any point. So inhaling, bringing our arms to the ceiling and gazing towards the ceiling, folding forward, hands towards the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine, and then exhale, step back into a high plank, or you can bring these down to a low plank, bending at your elbows and slowly lowering your body to the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest, lifting your gaze into an upward dog, and then exhale, tucking your toes under and coming into downward dog. Taking a breath here, and then raising your gaze to your hands and step forward into forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. And then exhale, bring your chest to your legs. Inhale, come all the way back up. We'll go 1 more round. Feel free to go at your own pace or come with me. So inhale, lift and lengthen, reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, stepping back into high plank or low plank. And then slowly lowering down, hovering your body down to the mat. Inhaling, lifting up into upward dog. And then tucking your toes under into downward dog. And then raising your gaze to your hands, stepping forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, bring your chest towards your legs. Hug it in. And then inhale, come all the way back up again. And hands back to Anjali Mudra. From here, we're going to go into a yogi squat. So if you have a block or a little rug or a cushion, you can put it underneath your heels to give you a little bit more support. And we're going to take our feet into our toes pointing out. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And we're going to exhale and take our body into a deep squat. Using our elbows to slightly press on our knees. If this is uncomfortable, you can go up a little higher. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths, lifting your chest and lifting your gaze. So this one gives a nice stretch through the lower back area. It's good to strengthen up through the ankles and the feet. Let's go 3 more breaths here. And then bringing your hands towards the ground and stretching up through the legs into a forward fold. And we'll tucking your hands underneath your toes if you can, or bring them down to your ankles. Tucking your head under, and we'll stay here for 5 breaths. Let your head fall heavy and let your chest be heavy. Feeling the stretch down the back of our legs and through the lower back. And 3 more breaths. And then releasing your hands. Inhale, bending your knees slightly and coming all the way back up. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. From here, we're going to go into a chair pose. So imagine you've got something like a block in between your legs and you've got your heels firmly planted on the ground. And we're going to go into imagine we're sitting on a chair. So we're bringing our legs towards each other. So bringing these together. And we're just going to stay here for about 5 breaths. And this one's to strengthen up through the thigh muscles and through the lower back. And 2 more breaths. And then bring your hands back up to mountain pose, back to Anjali Mudra. And you can shake your legs out here. And we're going to do 2 more of those, strengthening through our legs, through the top of our legs. So we're going to inhale and we're going to drop down into that chair pose again. So it looks as though we're sitting on a seat, having our chest up nice and tall and gazing forward. Staying here for 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Nice work. And then coming back up, give your legs a shake again. We'll do 1 more of those. So inhale, and then coming into the chair pose, bringing your knees towards each other, chest up nice and tall. Good work, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, good work. And last one, come up and give your legs a little shake. So it's a really good one for strengthening through the tops of your legs. We're going to go into a warrior sequence next. So we're going to turn our left foot out slightly and step forward with the right foot. So the right heel should be in line with the arch of your left foot. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift our arms and lift our gaze and bend the right knee so the knee is over the ankle. I'm going to stay here for 5 breaths, noticing the stretch through the left hip. And then bringing our hands down beside us, clasping them behind our back, and then straightening out that front leg and bringing your chest down towards your knee into humble warrior. And stay here for 3 breaths. And then gently releasing the hands down to the mat, bringing your right hand just inside your right foot. If you have a block, you can place it there. You can bring your hand to your right ankle or to the floor next to it and lift up through the left hand. Lift that all the way up to the sky and raise your gaze to the left hand. This is a triangle pose. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. This one's stretching through the inside of the right leg. And 1 more breath here. Then we're going to bring that left hand down to the mat, and we're going to raise the right hand and look up to the right side. So this is a twisted triangle, and we'll stay here for 3 breaths. And then bringing the right hand down, so you've got 1 hand on each side. Inhale, come all the way up, and take the left hand back, bending through that right knee into a warrior 2 pose. Gazing towards your right hand. Then inhale, lifting the right hand towards the ceiling and the left hand down towards the left knee. Gazing up towards the ceiling. Staying here for 3 breaths. And then coming back into warrior 2. And then bring the feet back together. Give them a little shake. And we'll go to the other side. So taking the right foot slightly out and stepping forward with the left foot. Inhale, bending through that left knee. Bring the arms up so they're next to your ears. Raising your gaze towards the ceiling. The front knee is bent so you have your knee over your left ankle. And noticing a stretch through the right hip. We're here for 5 breaths. 2 more breaths. And then bringing the hands down beside you and clasping them at the back. And reaching forward, so you're bringing your chest and your chin towards your left knee, straightening out that left leg, stretching up through the shoulders. We're here for 3 breaths. And then bring your hands down to the mat towards your left foot, having your left hand down next to your left foot on the inside, and take your right hand up towards the ceiling and raising your gaze towards the right hand. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. This is a triangle pose. Noticing the stretch through the back of the left leg. 2 more breaths here. And then bringing the right hand down towards the mat and bringing the left hand up towards the sky and gazing at the left hand into a twisted triangle for 3 breaths. And then framing your foot with your left hand. Inhale, bringing your body up, taking the left hand forward and the right hand back, bending through that left knee into warrior 2 for 3 breaths. Being nice and strong through your feet and your legs. Then inhale, bring your left hand towards the ceiling and the right hand towards the back of the right knee for 3 breaths. Being nice and strong through the feet. And then taking your body back to warrior 2 and bring your legs together. Give them a little shake. Well done. And then we'll come down to the mat into a seated forward fold. So this one is Paschimottanasana. So we're going to have our feet out in front of us, our legs on the floor straight in front of us with our toes pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale and lift our hands towards the ceiling, lifting our gaze, and then we're going to exhale and fold forward and land your hands either on your toes, behind your toes, or on your ankles or your shins. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Each time we exhale, just releasing your body a little more into the stretch. One more breath here. And then we're going to release our hands. We're going to inhale and bring our hands towards the ceiling. Lift our gaze and lift our chest. And then we're going to fold forward as we exhale and take our left hand to the outside of our right foot and bring the right hand either behind us or wrap it around the back. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. So this is a Paschimottanasana with a twist. Noticing the stretch through the lower back and also through the right leg. One more breath. Then releasing your hands, coming back up towards the ceiling, lifting up through your sit bones and lengthening through your spine. And then exhale, fold forward and put the left hand around the side of the the right hand around the right foot. Left hand behind, or you can bind it around the back of you. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. So each time you exhale, just folding a little bit forward, noticing that stretch through the left side and the left leg. Gazes at the left big toe. One more breath. And then releasing. And we're going to release into a butterfly pose. So we're going to bring our feet together, so the soles of our feet together, and bring our body a little forward and laying back onto the mat. Allowing your knees to fall towards the floor. Placing your hands just on the insides of your upper legs and relaxing here for 5 breaths. And again, each time you exhale, relaxing through that inner thigh a little more. Just opening up through that whole inner thigh area. And one more breath here. And then bringing your knees together and your feet onto the floor. Legs are still bent. Hug your knees towards your chest. Rinsing out your spine. Doing some little circles on your lumbar spine through the clockwise direction. And then going back the other way. And landing your feet onto the mat. We're going to go into a bridge position. So we're going to lift up through our hips on our next inhalation. Lifting up nice and high, bringing your chin to your chest. And you can either have your hands palms down on the mat, or you can bring your hands underneath your body, clasping them, and lifting through and tucking your shoulders under and up into a nice stretch through the shoulders in the bridge pose. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Lifting your hips as high as you can and really squeezing through your buttocks. And stretching through the shoulders, clasping at your hands. 2 more breaths here. And then releasing your hands and slowly lowering your spine down to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. And hug your knees up to your chest into Apanasana. Then placing your feet on the ground, arms out to the side, straight out from your shoulders. We're going to go into a twist, so we're going to take our knees to the right side, but look to the left, keeping our shoulders on the ground so we get a nice stretch through the pecs as well. Staying in this side for 3 breaths. Noticing the nice stretch through the left side of the body. One more breath here. Then inhaling, knees to the center, and exhale to the other side. Keeping those shoulders on the ground, noticing the stretch through the right side, taking the gaze to the right side. 3 breaths here. And then taking the knees back to center. And we're going to bring our fingertips behind our head. And we're going to lift up through the chest and bring our knees towards our elbows. Just going from side to side. Rinsing out through the abdomen. And so each time you bring your elbows to your knees, let's go 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then bring your knees to your chest, rinsing out through the spine and the twists that you've been doing. Then taking your feet up towards the sky. So we're going to go into an inversion here. So you can take your feet up a wall or up next to a bed, or you can come up into a half shoulder stand. So lifting up. Take your feet up towards the sky. Moving your ankles in a circular motion. Just shaking through your legs so you've got some nice lightness. I'm going to stay here for 10 breaths. If you have your legs up the wall, taking your feet wide. If you're in a half shoulder stand, take the feet over the head into a plow pose. Bring the toes down towards the mat. Staying here for 5 breaths. If you have your feet up the wall, bring your feet together, soles of your feet together and knees out to the side. And then slowly allow your body to come back down to the mat and come into a seated position. Excuse me. So come to a comfortably seated position. And we're going to do a little bit of pranayama breathing. So let's first of all just tune into our breath, placing our hands on our ribs. As you breathe in, notice your ribs expanding and holding the breath slightly, and then breathing out and notice the ribs deflating. Just staying here for about 10 breaths. Softening your eyes, just tuning into your own breath. Moving your hands to the top of the heart. And then we're going to engage our Ujjayi breath. So our Ujjayi breath is when we're exhaling, we feel a little vibration in the back of our throat. And imagine like you're breathing in, if you had a mirror in front of you, as you breathe out, how you would fog the mirror. So you feel that little bit of the sound of the ocean, a little bit of vibration in your exhalation. So engaging that Ujjayi breath, and it helps us to extend the exhalation. Studies link the breath to improving our mental and emotional states. And yogis were the first to use pranayama breathing, which is conscious breathing technique that we're using. They were the first to use that, and it actually helps to extend the life force and the life. And the quality of our breathing is a measure of our prana, or our life force. And when we engage through our prana, the results are improved vitality, clearer communication, improved digestion, and elimination and circulation. Just continuing through, moving your hands down to the side of your ribs. Notice the inhalation and the exhalation. You notice when we get stressed, our breathing becomes very short. It's our stress state in our fight or flight response. By lengthening out through our breath, and at any time you're feeling a little stressed or a little bit overwhelmed, just stopping and taking 10 deep breaths. It actually helps to eliminate some of the stress hormones from our system. So let's go into a nadi shona next, which is alternate nostril breathing, where we use our thumb and our ring finger to close off the nostril on the left and the right side. So we have our two fingers, our index finger and the one next to it, the longest finger on our forehead, and our ring finger on the left nostril and our thumb near our right nostril. We'll start off with 3 deep breaths, so breathing in and breathing out. Just coming up to the awareness of the breath. Then we're going to start our nadi shana. We're going to breathe in, and then we're going to close off our right nostril with our thumb and breathe out through the left. Then breathing in through the left nostril and blocking the left off, and breathing out through our right, freeing the right nostril. Breathing in through the right and closing that off with our thumb and letting our left release, and breathing out through the left. Then in through the left, close that off and out through the right. And continuing on, I'm going to go for another minute or two. Just continuing on in this circular breathing. The nadi shana helps to balance out through the body. Just going at your own pace. It's going from side to side. Go for 30 more seconds. Lengthening out through the spine so you're nice and upright. And then releasing your hands from your forehead. Taking 3 deep breaths. Noticing any clarity through your lungs and through your breathing. And then we're going to relax into a Savasana position and instill all the beautiful energy that you've cultivated in your yoga session. So laying down into Savasana, releasing your body down to be supported by the earth. And we're going to stay here in silence for 5 or 6 minutes. Warming yourself up. If you have a rug, you can place that over you. Getting nice and comfortable on the floor. If you have an eye pillow, you can place that across your eyes. Noticing your breathing and noticing the floor beneath you and the warmth in your body. Going to relax in silence for around 5 minutes. Coming back into the room, noticing your breathing, feeling grounded with the support of the earth underneath your back. Noticing your space, the walls around you and the windows. Gently rolling to one side. And you can stay here and relax if you like, or you can come into a comfortable seated position. Noticing your breathing and noticing how your body feels, scanning through your body and noticing your mind. We'll bring our yoga practice to a close with an Om. You can join me if you wish, but you don't have to. Bringing my hands to Anjali Mudra. Take a big breath in and then releasing all that doesn't serve us. Another big breath in. Releasing our beautiful space that we have been practicing our yoga. Thank you for all that you do for yourselves and for each other in our yoga community. Raising our vibrations to help us raise the vibration of our family and community. Bringing our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts and to our lips for kind words and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste. Nice. Well done, ladies. How you feel?